now are approaching, I should say, Encino as he continues eastbound or southbound on the 101 freeway here. Very light holiday traffic, as you can see. The two people inside that Honda Civic are driving a cold-plated vehicle. That means that the plates do not match the vehicle in question here. So the registration is not matching up, believed to be a possibly stolen vehicle potentially. LAPD again started this pursuit. CHP just took it over moments ago with a full pursuit package in tow, a primary unit, secondary unit, and backup on scene with an LAPD airship calling the shots from overhead as he navigates, again, very light traffic heading straight towards Encino here. Going to have the 405 in the next 5 miles here. He could go north or south or continue straight through on the 101 freeway. It's anybody's guess. He's really got his pick of the litter here with all the light traffic. So we'll see what happens here, guys.
Our Chris Christie high above this pursuit happening on the 101 right now. You see the very dark tinted windows on this vehicle. You can't even see through that front windshield. Going about 65, 70 miles an hour, slowing down, it seems here, maybe potentially getting towards an exit on that far right lane. Couldn't get around that SUV, so it looks like it's going to pass that SUV. As Chris Christie mentioned, we are on the 101 southbound, headed toward the Encino area as it's cruising through, kind of shaded there behind some of those trees. There are officers, CHP, in pursuit, and there it goes off an exit ramp here. This looks like it's Balboa, exit 21 of the 101. There are some options here, whether or not it's going to go south or north. We shall see as it approaches the intersection here. There are a couple, would look like sedans stop there. As it goes, looks like it's going to make a right turn here. As it pulls up, actually stops at the intersection. Instead, it makes a left, and you see the pursuit happening from behind. This pursuit started in Calabasas. It is now on the streets off the freeway. We are in Encino, headed on Balboa northbound. As Chris Christie mentioned, it is relatively light traffic out there on this Thanksgiving holiday. Smart move there by that car to move out of its way. But we are on side streets now, turning onto Burbank Boulevard. Very few cars out there. This is a slow-moving pursuit at the moment. We saw it get up to about 70 miles an hour while that vehicle was traveling on the 101. As Chris Christie mentioned, this is a Honda Civic, 2 suspects inside, being pursued by the California Highway Patrol. This started as an LAPD pursuit in Calabasas, but now we are on the side streets, currently on Burbank Boulevard, closing in on Havenhurst. This is in Encino as the speeds appear to pick up a little bit here. Obviously, not a lot of cars on the road at the moment, which is a good thing. We saw it hit that intersection, fully stop as it chose between going north or south there on Balboa. But here we are on Burbank, and not another car on the road, which is a relatively good thing at the moment. The pursuit has been going for the better part of 10, 15 minutes now. You can't see the CHP vehicles behind this suspect's car, but they are in pursuit as we get blocked by a little bit of trees here in the Encino area, just along the golf course there. There's the suspect vehicle again. It is a cold-plated vehicle, which means the plates did not match the car itself. And we are on Burbank Boulevard. We're going to go up. Yeah, we're in the Sepulveda Basin area, but we're going to zoom out a little bit because obviously some of the trees on the southbound side here are blocking some of the road there, but the pursuit continues. There you go. And Chris, from where I'm seeing right now, they got off the 101 and they're just kind of cruising on a wide open Burbank Boulevard.
Yeah, the first thing you notice here, Tim, is that the driving has been really composed. He's got good control of the vehicle. The only erratic move we saw there was making that right turn through the red light onto Burbank Boulevard, now going through another red light into oncoming lanes of traffic. Look at this. Just as we said it, he has pulled a completely unnecessary move here, jumping into the wrong side of Burbank Boulevard over a median here. LAPD right overhead. I was just about to say how controlled the driving is here and how tame this has seemed, even at relatively safe speeds. Look at him pulling off into the park at Balboa Park. There are people in this park. He is now on a hiking path in the park, bicyclists adjacent to that street right there, as he now makes his way into the park looking for an outlet going underneath the freeway and coming out. He's going to come out underneath that culvert there. He's going to come out on the south side of the freeway. That'll keep him in the park here, potentially looking for a spot to dump the vehicle. You got to wonder, Tim, whether he is familiar with this park. This is a maze down there when you're talking about those bike paths and streets underneath that freeway in this park. He has now made his way off of the freeway, off of Burbank Boulevard, I should say. CHP has now followed him off of Burbank Boulevard as well. They're now looking for him. Fortunately, the airship is right overhead, and you can see CHP right there in the trees looking for the suspect, who is likely looking for a spot to dump the vehicle in those trees. We can't see that happening. That's just an educated guess, because where else are you going to hide that green Honda Civic but in those trees, and then just try hiding out? Plenty of hiding spots in there, especially if they are familiar with this park, which something tells me they very well might be. The way he made that move was very, very peculiar. Again, a very tame pursuit down the freeway, getting off randomly at Balboa, jumping onto Burbank Boulevard at a safe speed, but then completely unpredictably pulling into the park here. Now you can see CHP looking for that vehicle in the park. You can see the helicopter overhead orbiting, looking for any signs of those suspects. Again, 2 people were inside that Honda Civic. I do not see the vehicle, but presumably they are looking for 2 people on foot.
What a wild move, and you called it as it was happening, Chris, because it went onto the other side, onto oncoming traffic. There's the car ditch now, and you see what looks like bottom right hand. Yeah, bottom right hand of the screen. There. You see some
2
footsteps.
Suspects on the run in the trees.
And it's interesting, too, if whether or not they're familiar with the areas, the birds kind of make their way out of there as they walk into that little wooded area. Not much cover unless you're going north of there. Is that a blue shirt there, or just something on the ground that looks like a piece of a barrel or garbage there? But obviously those troopers are in hot pursuit. There's one of the suspects, both of the suspects.
There they are. Both
walking
suspects now
running
on
out.
foot, running out of steam here as they slow down. CHP with eyes on the suspect. LAPD's helicopter has their camera squarely trained on these 2. Only a matter of time before they are placed into custody. Not very far to run here. I mean, it's wide open parkland, plenty of hiding spots, but they have way too much attention on them here as they approach the Sepulveda Basin. You can see them just kind of turning this into a casual walk, seeing how far they can get here. They're really, time is up here. But just a wild, unpredictable move here. Why they would have gotten off where they did, they must have had a feeling that they could have, just basically waited these cops out. I don't think they ever had a chance. But
they certainly didn't. It seemed like a very intentional.
Burbank, hit the vehicle, and
yeah, they got off right there at Balboa and then was able to make the turn into the park. They ditched the car, and now they're just kind of running in circles. Just a matter of time till they're caught. Certainly some terrifying moments there, especially when they turned off of Burbank itself and onto the trail, where you saw immediately there were people out there exercising, walking, jogging, and folks on bikes. It doesn't appear anyone was hurt in that, but obviously some scary moments there as this pursuit has now turned into a walking to jogging pursuit, when just a matter of time before these 2 suspects are taken into custody. Obviously, we are keeping a close eye on this, as they are, at least one of the suspects, trying to work their way up to the top of the dam there at the Sepulveda Basin. We know between on the ground and above, police are in hot pursuit, and this is just going to be wrapped up likely in a matter of minutes. Obviously, at the moment, we are watching this as we are on air on this Thanksgiving morning. We're going to be switching over to our streaming as we continue to monitor this pursuit. The 2 suspects have left that stolen vehicle and are now just casually walking. So their pursuit is about ending. We're going to take this over to streaming as we speak. If you want to continue on there to watch this pursuit wrap up. If not, have a happy Thanksgiving. Well, we are continuing streaming of this slow-moving pursuit at this point. This is one that started in Calabasas, came all the way up the 101. These suspects got off at Balboa and then somehow drove that Honda Civic with the blacked-out windows into a park, into the Sepulveda Basin. And now these 2 suspects, who were kind of running, kind of jogging, mostly walking at this point, are now standing at the top of the dam at the Sepulveda Basin. We don't necessarily see any of those officers, which started with LAPD and then switched over to CHP in the immediate area, but that doesn't mean they aren't going to get there in a matter of minutes. The car was ditched by some wood. You see at the top of the screen there where some of the marked cruisers are at this point, and then those suspects kind of ran around to the side. They are now doubling back in the opposite direction. This is not really much of a pursuit at this point. It's just a matter of when those officers and CHP finally make contact with them and make the arrest. Some scary moments there for a brief second. They got off at Balboa there in Encino. They made a right onto Burbank Boulevard and then somehow didn't hit any cars while going into oncoming traffic, eventually ditching that car in the Sepulveda Basin in some wooded area. Here's that moment. Just as Chris Christie was saying, they didn't make any major movements. They drive into oncoming traffic on the wrong side of the road. Luckily, with this Thanksgiving light traffic out there, there weren't a whole lot of cars on Burbank, but certainly scary moments going the wrong way. And then it got even worse because they made a left onto a walking trail. And just as they made that turn, you could see people physically out there. Here's that moment on the right side of your screen. On the left side is live pursuit, but on the right side of your screen, this is when they got onto that dirt trail and you see a person on a bike riding by, some people walking and jogging in the woods. And they made this right turn underneath the freeway itself, and that's right before they ditched the car. Chris Christie up in Air 7 with a really astute observation of the winding roads and pathways in the Sepulveda Basin may be foreign to a lot of folks, but if you're familiar with that area, this might be or seem like a good place to ditch the car. Unfortunately for these two suspects, CHP wasn't far behind. They were able to get right to the car as it was ditched. Now they are seemingly hiking as we are looking live on the left side of the screen. These suspects who kind of walked there, jogged their way to the top of the dam there at the Sepulveda Basin are now walking their way seemingly back or close to Burbank Boulevard. Like I said, there are a number of officers and troopers in that area. It's just a matter of time because they are not physically running at this point. They are absolutely gassed, walking through the kind of high shrubs there.
They're out of breath. These guys are pretty much done. I am shocked, actually, that they are still on the run here. I mean, they made it so easy for LAPD and CHP to catch up here. They were literally sitting ducks at the top of the Sepulveda Basin there, and now just have ventured in to the vegetation, some tall grass here. But they had so many opportunities to look for a hiding spot. They actually went away from the trees. They happen to be dressed in very warm clothing, if you could tell. It's about almost 80 degrees here in the valley. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is there are many people who live at this park. Now, again, unclear whether these two are residents of the park or are just frequent, park goers here. But
here you go.
They seemed very aware of their way through this park. They knew exactly where to pull off of Burbank Boulevard and eventually were able to navigate their way underneath the freeway before just taking this casual walk. Finally, though, it does appear that they have eyes on them. CHP with their guns drawn, approaching the suspects who are about to be taken into custody. The chase is over. These two were basically just enjoying their final moments of freedom, as we say, until that last gasp. And now you see one of the suspects still walking through the trees here. But again, that LAPD airship has eyes on both of these suspects. Finally coming to a safe end. Nobody hurt here, Tim. Obviously, this could have ended up much worse.
Unbelievable moments there. And you see, even as this suspect worked his way back up to the trail, the first person he encountered when he got up to that dirt path was somebody out there walking and exercising out there. He pointed rightfully to CHP, those two troopers who weren't very far away with their guns drawn, taking him into custody. The other suspect, who was let's call it a little bit slower than the guy who's now in custody, is now kind of hiding in the wooded underbrush area just below this police vehicle. Like I said, it's just a matter of time at this point, but here he comes out to the pathway over to the right side, and you see that trooper kind of jogging in his direction. Just a matter of seconds. If we come out wide, you'll see here it is with his gun drawn, walking up to it now. His arms are raised as well. This pursuit in a matter of seconds will be officially over. Thankfully, no one injured in this, but scary moments there, not just because of the pursuit on the 101 or some of those side streets as they got into Encino, but because of the fact that they drove that vehicle onto the dirt pass of the Sepulveda Basin. And now this second suspect is being handcuffed and taken into custody. A safe but scary moments there, a safe outcome to this pursuit happening on Thanksgiving morning as CHP now has the two suspects in custody. That vehicle ditched in the woods there, the Sepulveda Basin. Obviously, you've been watching this pursuit live. We have continued to cover it here on our streaming channel. We'll have much more on this pursuit coming up starting at 3 o'clock on ABC 7.